Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right. Now, here we go. We have the Two of Discs. That is the energy, and it feels right. It feels like the perfect way to begin the day, or, maybe the night, depending on when you're watching this. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, it does. It feels like the perfect way to begin because we have choices, we have opportunities, we have this interconnectedness, this synergy going. Different aspects of your life are flowing into each other. And I feel like for you, it's really like promoting this feeling, this knowing that you are capable of making the changes or creating, manifesting the things that you want, but more importantly, need in your life. And so this is a powerful feeling. This is, oftentimes one where we're a little bit naive and a little bit maybe hopeful, but we also have the ability. It's there, right? This is where innovation is born. This is where we try some things out, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to turn the bowl. We're going to see what the tea leaves have to say. What do they have to say about this, I wonder? Now, Scorpio, it is so nice to see you. I have had a couple days here, and it feels like a long time. I've been off for a couple days, but I've been so busy with my daughter's birthday and some other things that we had going on around the house here. And it is nice to be back and, starting with you. As you know, I always say I'm a Virgo. I'm a solar Virgo. So I always say the Scorpios and Virgos are very similar, except Scorpios are like our cooler. Like if we were twins, you would be the cooler one, right? All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. We have the number 4. That number 4. Also, it looks like laughing. We have the letter H and A, ha. Kind of almost a little bit like a taunt, it feels like. Now we have a person who is journeying, and it looks like they're by themselves. You can see right here. And here's the head, and here is the upper body and the lower legs. And we have 2 whales, one here, one here. So that's all about family, communication, staying close even when there are large distances between. I feel that you're very close to where you come from. You are probably somebody who has a lot of pride in maybe like the town you're from, the, area of the city, or, your block, or whatever it is. Now, I don't know that you live there because we do have this symbolism of distance, but staying close. So I wonder if you are somebody who left, maybe you have family. Your spouse maybe is from somewhere else. You moved out there and that's where you stay, or, you left for college, you never came back. But I do feel that there is a certain amount of pride, okay? But I do also feel that being the kind of outsider of the family works for you. I don't think this is like a negative thing, like you're some shunned black sheep of the family. No, nothing like that. I think you just you like to be in the world. You like to be, out there seeing what there is to see, feeling what there is to feel, trying things. Trying different things. And I imagine that you have moved around to some degree. Okay. Now we also have, it looks like, again, the number 4. And then we have the number 27. Okay. So we have, it looks like almost like the 4th. It looks like it says the 4th, maybe 4th. And then over here, 27. Now, I feel like we have the name Lane here, Lane. I know Lane can usually be spelled, or is usually spelled Layne, I think. But listen, people spell names every which way these days. There's not a lot of, some people have traditional names, but yeah. I mean, like the lane, the A lane. It could be, like, this is an address. Maybe it is, like, the 4th house, on 27th lane or whatever. But lane. Now, I have this distinct feeling of almost kind of being made to feel like you're not equipped to make choices for yourself. But I feel like this is almost like a family member. And I don't think that this is like something happening right now, but I feel like it's kind of almost like a sense of always being treated like you don't know what you're doing, but never being taught. Kind of like set up for failure in a way. But not like consciously, right? Like I don't know if you've ever had like a very impatient teacher, or maybe a family member that like babysat you, and I don't think it's like mom or dad or even grandma, but it maybe somebody within the family or a close family friend, but really this feeling of not giving you a chance to learn. Like they told you to do something, you've never done it, you try, they get annoyed that you're just not doing it right. You're young, you don't know how to do this thing, you've never tried it. And instead of stopping and showing you, oh, no, this is how we do this, try this way. That kind of easy, teaching, your abilities are there. You just need to be led a little bit. You need to be taught, right? And so they just take it and they do it themselves, or they, oh, get out of here, whatever. I just feel this impatience and an anxiety kind of woven from it, right? This feeling of needing to be able to do things without asking for help, almost feeling like, a failure. And it does. It all leads back to this feeling of failing. This feeling of failure And I feel like that's where we're at. That's where we're looking. Because it's something that I think comes up even when you're doing really well. And I get this feeling, and we have, it looks like the eye. And I'm seeing like a little fairy, like a sprite, like a fairy, like godmother or a guardian angel. And I do feel, and this looks like it says Johnny right here. Johnny. And yes, YSE, although this also is like a 3, like 313 as well. So yes, Johnny, maybe? Or Johnny, yes. Or maybe 2 separate. But I feel like there's this sense of this family member, whoever, I don't know. I don't think that they're a big deal, right? Or at least you have done some processing and realizing like this is, you know, they are the ones that failed, right? Not you. But processing through some of that stuff, I think at it prior to this time. I feel like this is an older thing. You kind of looked at it, maybe you even thought, okay, this isn't that big of a deal. This part, I don't have to focus on it too much, but I do feel that this is something that is rising in you. And I feel like it's something that you have noticed kind of impedes your ability to sometimes motivate yourself because it's already this like self-defeat, right? I'm not going to be able to do that. I'll never be able to, I have no chance. I don't know what I'm doing. All these kinds of things that we tell ourselves. But I also feel like even when you do well, which I think you have, I think that you can look around at your life and subjectively, or really kind of objectively as well, by most standards, I think that you've done well in your life. Now, I feel that there sometimes is an inability to allow yourself to believe that. And that is that voice in the back of your head. And it is that you're not doing it right. You don't know what you're doing. How old are you? You should know how to do this. All these kinds of, and it ends up being kind of these wicked things that people say to us when we're young. And I don't think it's always nefarious, but it's like muscle memory. They heard these things, so now they say them to the kids in their life. And it's like a thought virus. It goes from one person to the next. So I feel for you, this is coming up as something that has to be transmuted because you're tired of carrying it. You're tired of feeling this way over something that, relatively within the span of your life is kind of a drop or maybe a little drizzle in a bucket, right? But that's how it goes sometimes. Our conditioning could be something that we hear in passing. Just some little word said in such a way that it sticks to our core memory. Right? And so we hold these beliefs sometimes spoken by people who really should not have any kind of voice in our lives, in our psyche, in our histories, right? And so here I feel like there's a shedding happening. Now, I feel also that we have all of these it reminds me very much of a bunch of little sprites, fairies, these magical kinds of elemental beings kind of flittering around in your favor. The universe is really pulling for you, and it feels very apparent to me that things feel like they're kind of coming into place. Like you're having a moment where nothing is going wrong, at least no, big acute things, problems, accidents, emergencies out of nowhere, people behaving out of pocket, just little dramas and all this. It feels like a quiet afternoon at the ocean, right? If you could imagine some beautiful beach like Nantucket, a nice, calm, warm afternoon, not too hot, not too cold. And that beautiful sound of the wind and the ocean together. Oh, what a glorious feeling. And I feel like you're coming into this place of, it's not rest. It's not a place where you, you kind of, get into that sedate ease and just assume, everything's fine. I'm just gonna kind of drift off here a bit, No, I feel that you are very motivated. There is a lot of energy and it is building. And that is with that Two of Cups. If you could imagine, the wheels are turning. The belt or the, Ouroboros, the snake, turning, moving. It is going, right? Now, we also have a line of fish up here. So money, of course, always money, right? We're always thinking about money, as we should. That's what our societies are kind of built with at this point. And you need it to live, or at least to pay for the things that you need to live. And so I do feel that there is an emphasis on money coming in. Money, maybe a worry or two. But I feel like this is what we're all going through. There's no certainty in anything, and there never is in life. But when it comes to things like money, and especially because we often are responsible for far more than just ourselves. And so it adds this extra layer of, anxiety. We have a lot of responsibilities, you and I, don't we? And the way the world is, even if you are making good money right now, we don't know. We don't know how things are going to go. But we never have. We just assume that we do, right? We never know how things are really going to go. So take some comfort in knowing that this chaos is always here. It's just at a fever pitch right now because of the way it is presented to us more often than not. Although I have to say I'm being swept away in the anxieties as well. So don't be fooled by, my calm voice here. Because you know what? None of us really know what's happening. None of us. But I do feel, here's the deal. I feel like a lot of us are really standing in opposition of the instinct to just absolutely, fall apart in anxiety, terror, unknowing. If anything, I see a lot of people finding deep inner strength right now. Instead of feeling disenfranchised more deeply and more deeply, educating themselves, refining and honing their skills, their abilities, empowering themselves. And I do believe this is that energy for you as well, because listen, we have all of these kind of like elemental fae energies, but so often with the fae, it is about sometimes, the trickster nature, but it's also about bringing sacred knowledge, about working together to share the tools that we need to survive. We are very close to these unseen things. We always are. But there are moments when I would say tensions and emotions and energies are really swelling up. And you can feel it. And these are the times that we end up working very closely with these intelligences. And I don't know how else to say it, but it's not just things like the Fae or Jinn or the many varieties of so-called extraterrestrials or macrobes or interdimensional beings or glitches or, time lords or whatever they are, whatever it is for you, if they dwell within medicine or if they, or come through visions, portals, dreams, imagination, your creativity, whatever it is. In these times where things feel so very volatile, this is where the work really comes in close. This is where, we start to stop and be able to hear each other, perceive one another. And so I feel your connectedness. I feel your motivation. I feel this courage to stand up against that feeling of, we think of constantly this fight or flight, but there's also the freeze. And there's also the fawning, right? Which is like trying to kind of connect or become, what is the word? Agreeable, maybe, to whatever your, whatever you are standing in, conflict with or feeling, maybe this thing is, this person is, this institute, this whatever it is, is, not a friend, we'll say that, right? So I feel that, there is this fluidness to you. There is this traction that you have gained. You're locked in here. You're very locked in, or getting into that posture anyhow. And I feel like you're very aware of it. Now, we have the number 31. We have a person that like to walk and go to like a park or parks. I feel that they often would walk in the rain. Maybe with an umbrella, maybe not. But I feel like so much of their life, this is like a person that would go for a walk after dinner, right? And you don't always see that as much anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I feel like when I was young, there was a lot more of taking like a little stroll after dinner, you know? And maybe it's because of where I grew up in California. I don't know. But people would walk. Yeah, take like a little after dinner stroll around the neighborhood to the park, whatever. Now I don't know. I don't see that as much. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe I just am not around a lot of people. Who knows? But I do feel, and it seems like we're dealing with, it's not like Edwardian period, but like maybe after, maybe like the 20s, 1920s. It's crazy that we're in the 2020s now. Ugh. That's weird. I don't know. That still trips me out. And I'm not, I'm like 40 ish. And so, I feel old. I feel like I've been alive for, I don't know, hundreds of years at this point. But it just, I don't know, but I can't believe it. Just, there's something that feels so strange. Like we're living, and maybe it's because of so much of the, sci-fi, right? Like 2001, A Space Odyssey and this kind of thing. It made everything feel so far in the future. Now we've gone beyond, right? And so, but I feel like this person, almost wonder if they never got married. And I just get this emphasis on being alone and being okay with it. Where people almost made it seem like, and I am guessing that this is, a woman, just based on this kind of like audacity to be happily single their whole lives. Right. And so this must be from a time when it was looked at as, like a character flaw. What is going on with this person that they didn't get married, which is wild, by the way. What a wild take. But I feel like this is somebody that maybe you never even met, but I wonder if you have a picture of them in your home. And maybe it's not, maybe it's like a group picture, maybe like your grandmother or somebody is also in the picture. But I feel like when you look at this picture, when you think about this person, there is a sense of happiness. And I see this little happy face. There's a sense of respect. It does. It feels like you almost kind of, it's like you took in this energy of this person and kept it with you. And you still do. And I wonder if you do interact like on the other side with them. Maybe through dreams, but I feel like they're around you a lot. Like they're very much in your life. Now, we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. Number 5. Number 22, 5, 22, and 94. 94. Now we're also going to do our nope, these are these are the Bohemian, I forgot what they're called. Wild Bohemian affirmation cards. Sorry. They're beautiful. I should remember. It's been a couple days. Wild Bohemian affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. Oh, yes, the orange flower. And it's 11. I have come. Everything is completely new under the sun. You see with a lover's eyes. You see with a lover's eyes. All right. Well, Scorpio, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, again, I'm just going to say I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. And good night.